Hello, Assalamualaikum. How are you all? I hope that you all are doing great. My voice is clear to all of you. My voice is clear. Okay, how are you all? How are you all? Okay, good. Okay, so any problem in our previous lecture? Any problem, any issue related to our previous lecture you can ask? Yeah, I'm good too. I'm good too. Okay, everything is clear. So all of you, have you done with your tasks? Have you done with your tasks? Okay, if you won't be able to complete your tasks, make sure that you complete it on daily basis, okay? Okay, fine. Tell me, are you guys working on vocabulary words? Are you guys working on your vocabulary words or not? Okay. So firstly, I want to know which vocabulary word you have learned in for the previous week. In previous week, have you learned any kind of vocabulary word? Write in the chat box. The word, only word. Yes, write in the chat box the word that you have learned, new vocabulary word to boost up your vocabulary. I told you aberration. Okay. Yeah, I think I provided you the blog post. Aberration, admirable, abhor. Okay. Alacrity, acquiesce. Okay. I think we have discussed about the vocabulary words, right? You guys doing it from blog post that I've shared. Okay, great. So make sure that when you go to the next vocabulary word, because this is the problem that some of the students face, then they learn so many of the vocabulary words, so they forget about the previous words and just remind the recent word, right? So you can memorize your vocabulary word for a long time when you know the concept of that vocabulary word. Okay, make sure that you listen that whenever you learn a new vocabulary word, follow the steps. Firstly, listen pronunciation as many times as you can. Secondly, search for the definition of that vocabulary word, then search for the synonyms of that vocabulary word. And fourth is go with the examples. Go and explore some examples that how you can use that vocabulary word. And the final step is try to use that vocabulary word as much as you can. Okay, you can just put the picture of that vocabulary word on your home screen, lock screen, use that in your captions, Instagram stories, WhatsApp statuses. So whenever you just go on social media, so you just recall that vocabulary word. You got my point? And don't learn the next vocabulary word until you become completely familiar of the previous vocabulary word. Okay? Okay, fine. So today we will talk about how you can improve. Also tell you. Okay, I will recommend you some of the YouTube channels name in the group, okay? And also try to explore some channels by yourself too. So today we are reading a blog post that is about how to improve writing skills in English. And after that, we will work on this thing that is present simple and present perfect is done, right? Present simple, present perfect is done. Present continuous is not. Present continuous, is this done? Present continuous is done or not? Okay, so we have done with the three tenses, right? Present simple, present perfect, and present continuous. I told you present simple and present perfect is the tense that is used in formal writings, formal communications, right? Whenever it comes to formal writings, formal communication, we prefer to use perfect series, right? So what do you think? Can you please tell me what is formal? And we have heard this thing so many times that we don't need to use any kind of phrases, any kind of slang words when it comes to formal communication and informal communication. So tell me, what is meant by formal communication? We have discussed about what is communication, like conveying message in a clarifying way, not using very difficult vocabulary words, just going with the easier version of words that are clarifying. So tell me, what is formal and informal communication? Yes, informal means that is not casual. Okay. Yes, all of you. I want to know from all of you, what is formal and informal communication? Guess. Because today we will make a difference between formal and informal communication so that you will get to know whenever you are writing something, writing blog post or writing anything else. Yeah, sophisticated language. Yeah, you can say that. Okay. Yes, all of you, come on, contribute. What do you think? What is formal and informal communication? Yes, in your point of view, what is that? We can talk in informal with our friends. Yes, that is the example. Whenever we are talking to our friends in family gatherings, casual talking, random chit chat, and gossiping, that is informal stuff. And formal stuff related to official channels. So today we'll just distinguish between formal and informal communication. So what is written here? The quality of your life is the quality of your communication, both with yourself and others. Communication, basically, what does that mean? I give you the example of departmental store, right? What is that? Whenever you are conveying a message that is point to point conversation, like suppose we have our today's class topic is spoken English, right? We don't need to talk about politics here, we don't need to talk about fashion trends here. No, our topic is not flexible, it is rigid. So this class is all about formal communication. I'm delivering the lecture in a clarifying way so you will be able to understand what I'm trying to say. If I'll talk about irrelevant topic, irrelevant stuff, then you will not be able to understand that what is going on in our class. WhatsApp audio calls, conference calls with our friends, that is the random stuff, that is the informal stuff, okay? So why we need to learn about formal and informal communication concept? Because when you know what is formal communication and what is informal communication, it's become clear, it becomes convenient for you to use those formal words in your formal communications, right? Okay, so let's have a look on it. What is it? Um, Here are some things that I want to share. This one. See, what is formal communication? It is complex and thorough. Yeah, I'm talking about the concept of formal communication so that whenever, because in our other sessions now, I will share some of the formal words. So you must know when to use that formal words and how you will get to know the use of something when you know that when to use that. What is that? So what is formal communication? Any kind of communication that is related to official channels like your official groups on WhatsApp. You don't need to send any messages in formal groups, like you can say in your official groups like NS official groups you have, right? For spoken English, there is a discussion group that is casual, that is informal, where you can talk about different kind of stuffs, right? But there is an official group where you don't need to send messages like good evening, good morning. No, we just share class links, we just share important links there that are related to your stuff, your course. That is the example of formal stuff. It is thorough. It means formal communication is really rigorous, it is deep. Like when you are giving presentations, when you are talking to strangers, talking to stranger is also formal stuff. You don't, if there is a stranger sitting beside you, you don't need to say, hey, what's up, what's your, you don't straightly plunge yourself into their personal life, right? Firstly, you will say greetings or good afternoon, good evening, are you waiting for the bus, like that you will start random communication, right? So formal stuff is totally related to point conversation. It's not personal kind of, it is very official channels, presentations that you give into your universities, speeches stuff or lectures or the assignments that you share in your group, the voice notes, audio notes, audio recordings that you share in your group. That is also formal. You don't need to record yourself and just say anything in the group, right? That audio recording assignments and the practices that you have done, the description practice or whatever practice, like you are explaining your daily routine, it is also formal stuff, because you just need to talk about the relevant topic that I'm assigning you, right? So that's why I told you, whenever you send any kind of audio recording, first listen it by yourself and then send it to me, because it is not informal, it is formal. Your all assignments, all articles kind of stuff, article writing or writing stuff specifically is formal. Even if you are messaging or texting with your friends, make sure first read the message and then send it. How many times this happens to you that you send some kind of weird messages and at the end you feel regret and you will like, oh, why not I read this message before? There are a lot of grammatical mistakes in this sentence. And then you have to delete and you get to know, oh, that person have GB WhatsApp. How many times this happens to you that you have done lot of grammatical mistakes and lot of mistakes and without even reading you just click on the send button and at the end it ends up just regretting. Yes, so many times. So next time, whenever you are sending a messages in the official group, in unofficial group, you are texting or chatting with your friends, make sure firstly read your message before clicking on the send button. Okay. Next thing, longer sentences. Now, whenever it comes to informal communications, you prefer to talk in a very short way, very concise way. Like, let me give you an example. WhatsApp. It's very informal, very short kind of slang, right? Now, informal communications, whenever you are meeting with your boss, with your clients, you have to say, good afternoon, sir. How are you doing? Are you doing great? Do you have any problem? You have to start like from longer sentences, from the formal stuff. That is the difference between formal and informal communication. In formal communication, your sentences should be descriptive. I'm not saying boring. I'm not saying lengthy. Descriptive means you must elaborate each and everything. Each and everything should be clarifying. It should not be very like you are using acronyms like ASAP, MP, or TY. No, you have to be descriptive. You have to describe each and everything. Suppose if I just assign you an assignment that you have to write one paragraph or two paragraphs on communication skills, so you don't need to use short sentences that communication skill means this, communication skills mean this. No, you have to explain, you have to elaborate. Firstly, you will elaborate the definition within 2 to 3 lines, then you will elaborate the importance within 4 to 5 lines, right? So whenever it comes to formal stuff, you should be clear and your sentences should be descriptive. Next, full words. In formal communications, you have to use full words. Full words mean you don't allow to use phrases, you don't allow to use slang words, you don't allow to use acronyms like the example ASAP, as soon as possible. Whenever you are writing formally to some client or to your boss any important email, you don't need to say send it to me ASAP. No, you have to say send it to me as soon as possible. You got my point? You have to use, you don't need to go with abbreviations. You don't need to use contractions. You have to use full words so that it becomes clear for other person that what you are trying to say. No contractions. You remember we have read about the contractions, like instead of using do not, use don't, instead of using does not, use doesn't. You allowed to use that kind of contractions. Here contractions means like instead of saying my pleasure, you are saying MP, that kind of contractions. If you are saying doesn't, don't, can't, ain't, wasn't, these contractions are evident. Everyone out there know that what does doesn't means. Obviously, it means does not. So that contractions that we used to use in tenses that are allowed, but the contractions, the abbreviations that are not allowed. You have to write in a proper way. You got my point? You got it? Tell me, are you guys getting me? Okay, next one is objective. Here, informal stuff, our objective is not like flexible. It is rigid. It means your conversation is rigid. If you have selected a topic, you have to go with point-to-point conversation. Suppose you have selected a topic, communication skills. So you must need to talk about only this specific topic. You don't need to go on any other topic. Like there is a meeting going on, and a person who don't know what is formal and informal stuff or what is that, who just entered into the room and started talking about something else, although there is a formal stuff going on there. So what is the gesture? It creates a very negative gesture, negative impression of that person. So it is really important in formal presentations especially, You maybe observe this thing. Most of the teachers in your university, whenever they are delivering a lecture, suppose their subject is something else and they are giving you lectures about moral ethics. Tell me, you observe this thing? In your university this happens, and in your colleges this happens most of the time. Their subject is chemistry and they are teaching you moral ethics, right? That is the violation of this formal stuff. If your subject is chemistry, you have to just stick to that object. You have to stick to that topic. If my subject is spoken English and communication skills, I have to talk about that stuff. I will not teach you Spanish, I'll not teach you Urdu, I'll not give you lecture on moral ethics. No. So that is the thing. I think now it is understood. Whenever you are talking about formal stuff, so you must have grip on your specific subject. Suppose if you want to become a teacher, so this is a tip for you too. Okay, just go point to point. You got my point? If you want to teach any subject, make sure that you have complete knowledge, rigorous knowledge of your specific object. Okay, and not any other object or that kind of. Next thing, note her personal and writing style. That's what I want to convey to you. Writing style. Whenever you are writing something, writing a letter to your friend, writing something, you have to be formal, because writing stuff is all the time. All the time, whenever you are writing something, it is all the time formal. So here we'll read a blog post that how you can enhance your writing skills in English. So that is the thing. Whenever you are formally writing to someone, all the time basically writing stuff is formal, and you don't need to plunge yourself into personal categories whenever you are formally talking to someone, unless that person is your friend or your uh, the person known to you. So you can go with the informal stuff. Same is the case with informal communication. Can you just tell me what are the points that will be involved in informal communication? In informal communication, our conversation should be descriptive or it should be very brief. What do you think about it? In informal communication, our conversation should be brief or it should be descriptive. What do you think about it? We can add yeah, we can add slang words, we can add phrases, and there is no restriction in informal stuff. In informal stuff, you can talk about lengthy stuff and you can also talk about short and brief stuff. It depends on you. In informal stuff, you don't have any barriers, you don't have any rigid topic. Your topic is flexible. Right now you are sitting with your colleagues and you are talking about politics. At the same time, you are talking about something else and then something else. So you can switch your topics. You are not going point to point. Your conversation is not rigid, it's flexible, it can fluctuate. You got it? Yes, I think now it's understood. And most of the time, all the time, basically, informal communication is oral. Yeah, it depends on you. You want to go with short sentences or not. So now, how to improve writing skills in English? Tell me the difference between formal and informal communication is clear to all of you. So I'll go with the writing skills that you need to, whenever next time you are writing your assignments, you are writing anything else, your assignments, your college assignments or whatever. So you have to follow these writing styles and it will help you to improve it. And what are they? Let's talk about it. So the first thing is start with a mind map. Now I want you guys to read it for me. Who want to read? Raise your hand who want to read, so that it will become your reading practice too. We'll read this blog post and then we'll discuss it. So you have to raise your hands and read paragraphs. Yes, Mavish, you can unmute yourself and read this first paragraph only. You can unmute yourself.
Hello, Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam. How are you, Mavish?
I'm good. What's about you?
I'm good too. Yes, you would like to read this paragraph?
Okay, ma'am. Start with the mind map. A great way to set this stage for a piece of writing is by brainstorming ideas related to your topic and activating all of the English you will need to express yourself. Try creating a mind map in which you write down and prior knowledge you have on the subject in bullet point
Hmm.
points and specify facts, opinions you would like to include. You may also choose to make a list of English vocabulary words that will help you articulate your thoughts.
Okay.
You,
Okay, Mehwish, there are a lot of mistakes that you have done. Now I'm reading it again, and you have to figure out which words you mispronounce and write down those words, okay? Make sure you write down those words that you mispronounce. Now I'm reading it again. Start with a mind map. A great way to set the stage for a piece of writing is by brainstorming ideas related to your topic and activating all of the English you will need to express yourself. Try creating a mind map in which you write down any prior knowledge you have on the subject in bullet points and specify facts or opinion you would like to include. You may also choose to make a list of English vocabulary words that will help you articulate your thoughts. You got it? Now, what this paragraph is saying before writing anything else, to avoid mistakes and to avoid mixing up the material, because whenever you are writing there are a lot of things that you call like brainstorming. There is a storm in your brain, lot of ideas, lots of key points in your mind. So firstly you need to make a mind map. That firstly I'll make a suppose I'll just give you a topic, right, about communication skills. So you don't need to firstly just take your register and write it down. No, firstly in your brain you have to make a map, just like the course outline. You join this course because we have shown you a course outline, so you will have any idea, yeah, this is the mindset of this course. A person who just showing up this course or that kind of stuff, we have to cover these key points, right? What happen if we'll not show any kind of course outline to you? There is kind of lot of confusion. You don't know which kind of stuff we will about to cover, right? So it is really important whenever you are writing something, firstly organize it in your brain. That firstly I'll write about the introduction, then I'll explain the importance, then I'll explain the further details of that topic, I'll classify that topic, and at the end, I'll conclude my topic. What will happen if without making a mind map, firstly, we are explaining the importance, and at the very end, we are explaining the definition of it. Tell me, what will happen? If we are explaining the definition of the topic at the very end and the importance of that topic, firstly, what will be the gesture? What will be the impression? It creates really negative and mixing impression. Our brain is not able to understand that what is the definition, what is the meaning of that word. So how we'll get to know about the importance of it? So it is really important, organize the topic in your brain firstly. You must know which things you need to go into when you are writing something. Now, next paragraph. You got this point? Who want to read next paragraph? Shehrinaz, yes, you can unmute yourself and read this paragraph.
Okay, ma'am. Use an outline. A blank page can be intimidating, even for the most seasoned writer. Give yourself something to work with by laying out the structure of your piece in advance. Leave placeholder for an introduction, several paragraphs that provide support for your thesis, and a conclusion. Then use your mind map to fill in the details.
Okay, good reading, but just you need to, whenever you are reading, so you have to make sure that other person will be able to get you like you are understanding. Okay, whenever there is a full stop, try to take very short pause so the other person will get to know that, yeah, we are not hurrying up, we are not fastening each and everything, we are just understanding and we are conveying it. Okay, now what is explained in this paragraph? You have to make a outline. Now, firstly, you have to make outline in your mind, then just write it down. That firstly, I'll explain this thing. Then for the next step, I'll go with this. Just like that. So whenever you are writing, whenever you will keep these things in your mind, you will see the difference in your writing. Firstly, organize it in your brain. Your brain must know that these are the steps I need to cover. Then write it down, just like your English course outline, right? We have shown you the course outline, so you will get to know that, yes, this is the material, these are the key points that we'll get to know. that we'll cover in our course, right? If there is no course outline, there will be a lot of confusion. Then in first class, I'm explaining communication skills. In the next class, I'll explain whatever I want to explain. And at the end, it ends up a disaster. So it is really important whenever you are writing formally or informally, just create an outline for your convenience. It means this habit is also implementing whenever you are listening to videos. Whenever you are listening to videos for your learning, make sure you have a small diary or a journal with you so you write down all the important key points. Okay. Yes, Varisha, you can unmute yourself and you can read the third paragraph.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam. How are you, Varisha?
I'm good. What about you?
I'm good too. Yes, you would like to read this third paragraph?
Yes. Learn how to type. Did you know that we think a lot of faster than we write? Translating ideas into language can be slow and cumbersome if you are handwriting or hunting for individual letters. One key at a time, you can lose your train of thought and or experience frustration with the mechanics of writing. But you can automatize the process and help your thoughts flow freely through your fingertips and onto the screen. By learning how to touch type, you will not only be faster but more accurate too.
Okay, good reading. Excellent reading. Just you need to uh, know that when there is a question mark, so you must know that you read the whole sentence like you are really asking something, because whenever you are writing or whenever you are reading, there is a lot more much difference. Okay, so I would suggest you see, now there is a question mark whenever we are reading. We are not saying, if we are reading, did you know that we think a lot faster than we do. If you're saying, did you know that we think a lot faster than we write, now there is a gesture that, yeah, we are asking a question, like we are saying what is going on. If there is what is going on, it means we are really asking. Okay, just try to catch up the expressions and feelings, but reading is really good. Now what is explained in this one, it means whenever you are writing, or the main thing is here, you have to clear the clusters from your brain. You should be very clarifying whenever it comes to writing. You should know that like your writing is not like very dull kind of. Firstly, you have to organize, like it's all related to organize your writing, all related to your course outline. In your writing, you should not show that you are feeling frustrated or overloaded or just like that. You have to use good words, you have to use advanced words, so that the other person know that, yeah, the people who are writing, the person who is writing have much now you know familiar with the material or the topic. The last line is elaborating each and everything. You will not only be faster, but more accurate too. That's all about communication skills. If you are writing a letter about any kind of, like, if you're writing mail to the client about the sales or about your product, so you will not ask what is going on in your life, or our product is this, we have a lot more products. No, you have to go point to point. Like if client is asking about one specific product, suppose it's a laptop, so you have to explain the benefits of laptop. You have to be accurate about the features of laptop, right? Now, you don't need to just say that, yeah, we have a tablet, we have a phone, we have headphones. No, only one thing. Be accurate whenever you are writing something. Because whenever you are writing something, I told you it is formal, and formal stuff is totally related to point messages. Got it? Now, next point is revise, revise, and revise some more. Yes, Samya, you can unmute yourself and read this paragraph. Yes. Okay, there is some mic issue from your side. Muniba, you can unmute yourself. Yes, Muniba, you can unmute yourself. Okay, yes, you can raise your hands then. Mohsin Ijaz, you can unmute yourself.
Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Walaikum salam. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, so you can read this paragraph.
Revise, and revise some more. Writing is a process that involves crafting a sentence that going back to read what come before. You want to be sure your ideas make some sense in a particular order and that you've used a variety of different vocabulary words and phrases to express yourself. When you write on a computer, you use the same document for your mind up. Outline an initial draft. Being able to copy, paste, and delete means revisions are a lot easier to make. Continue to write and revise until you are happy with your draft.
Okay. Okay, good, excellent reading. Now, what you need to understand in this paragraph, the same thing that I've told you. Before sending a message, reread it. Don't send it like whenever you are writing something, check out, is there any grammatical mistake? Is there any spelling mistake? Is there something? Just send it to other person whenever you are feeling completely satisfied. But we are really anxious. We are really, you can say, impatient, you can say. In that kind of impatient moment, we just send it instantly without reading, without bothering, without just rereading. So it is really important. Now, I'm not saying implement it whenever you are talking to your friends, because I know I by myself experience this habit of just sending it into the group, and then I figure out, oh, I have to reread it. It's a really bad habit, and we all really need to cope up with this habit. What you need to do now, start implementing it whenever you are sending messages in official group. Please make sure that you reread your messages. Are you writing it in a good way? Especially when you are sending mails, important mails, writing some important stuff to somebody else, send it to other person until you feel completely satisfied with your draft. You got it? Now, to avoid that kind of grammatical mistakes, I would suggest you install Grammarly app. How many of you have that app, Grammarly? That app is extremely amazing, Grammarly. If you don't have that app, I will send you the screenshot or you will search it by yourself. Yeah, install that app, Grammarly, and please try to do communication, try to chat in English with your friends, even with your in your groups. Even whenever you are sending messages, voice notes, try to talk in English. Okay, so just go on Google and write Grammarly. You will get to know that there is a Grammarly app. You will install it and switch your keyboard to Grammarly. So whenever you are writing something, you will auto correct it. You'll got it. There will not be any grammatical mistakes and spelling mistakes. So that are the points that we have covered. How many points we have covered yet? Can you summarize it in the chat box? Yes. Again, in this one, same thing, grammatical check and automatic spelling and grammar checks. The best thing, just install Grammarly and your whole problem will be solved. Last paragraph, build your vocabulary. Want to read it? Okay. Asadullah Fayaz. Yes, you can unmute yourself. Okay. Yes, Anam Kasim, you can unmute yourself.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. How are you, ma'am?
Walaikum salam. I'm good. What about you?
I'm very much good. Thank you so much for asking. Ma'am, I can't see the screen, like the paragraph we have to read right now, like you have said to me. I can't find the paragraph right now.
This one, build your productive vocabulary.
The screen is not coming in right in front of me. I don't know why.
Oh, okay. Then check it out, Anam. Check it out. Figure it out why it's not coming. Okay.
I should not waste my time. Should I say something from my own self, whatever I had my mind right now, so that you can check my pronunciation?
Okay,
right
so you can summarize. You can summarize then how many points we have covered yet about writing.
I have just heard a little bit because I was giving tuitions and my son is not well right now. So I've just heard a little bit about the formal speaking, that whenever
Okay.
you're talking to a friend or someone, if we are
Hmm.
writing a letter or application or something, whatsoever, that we have to be like in a formal way. We should not write in informal way. The writing, the way of talking should be in a good way.
Hmm.
Like we should not use words in it.
Hmm.
I think so. You were telling this to us, if I'm not wrong.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay, and I'm good. Yes, Sana, you can unmute yourself and read this last paragraph.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. How are you, Sana?
Yes, I'm fine, and you are?
I'm good too. Yes, read the last paragraph.
Okay. Build your productive vocabulary. Most English language learners have a larger respective vocabulary than a productive one. This means you may understand a word when you see it, but it won't necessarily show up in your writing. First, possibly using words you have recently learned is one way to increase your productive vocabulary. When you use a word in your writing, it makes it more likely it will be available the next time you sit down to compose a sentence. Another strategy is to to
Yes.
look up alternatives to the words you have chosen. Just be sure you don't paper your text with awkward word choices that don't fill the context on your original phrasing. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Good. Good reading. Okay, meeting is about to an end. So all of you need to rejoin. So I'll just say it in just one sentence. Okay, the pronunciation is thesaurus. Okay, thesaurus. To look up with the alternative words. It means you have to, when if you want to boost up your writing game, your vocabulary should be excellent. That is why I all the time told you, please work on your vocabulary. Vocabulary plays a really significant role in formal writing. When your vocabulary is good, so you will have so many of the words to make your speech concise, to make your writing very good, concise, and attractive. Because if you use the same word like larger, suppose there is a word larger that is coming in your writings again and again, and you don't